What's going on, guys? In today's episode, I'm joined by Adhish, a dancer, and I'll be talking to him about dancing, emotions, mental health, all of these things. So make sure you keep listening, make sure you subscribe and like this video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on Spotify, make sure you share it with someone who may also resonate with this podcast. Thank you. Welcome, Adhish. Let's start with the check in. So, normally we go around saying how we're feeling, what's been going on for us. I will start and then you can start afterwards, yeah? So currently I'm feeling okay. I think there's a lot on my mind at the moment, just like life, health, money, everything for the coming year. Um so I think I'm trying to kind of balance it all and just try and remain calm and present and just focus on what needs to be done. So at the moment that's what's on my mind. But on the whole, I'm feeling calm and like yeah, ready for the year, excited for the year. Um, and yeah, I think on the whole, yeah, I am doing good. I think apart from just the other stuff on my mind, I feel happy because I'm balancing it better. I know in the past, if probably I would have started to panic or just like become overwhelmed. So I think at this stage, I'm happy and yeah, ready for the new year. How about you?
Yeah, it's been the same for me. I feel like this new year is kind of bringing a change for
Hmm.
me personally. Like, I'm starting to get more mature. I'm starting to understand life as it is. I'm starting to understand what I need to work on with myself, like in terms of things. And things are slowly starting to settle in. And it's the same as how you said, like in terms of money, health. Also, for me personally, being in a different country, how I can adapt myself to this environment and all those things, it's kind of slowly starting to sit in for me. Like, I'm starting to understand who I want to be and where I want to be in life, and I'm just putting my effort towards that. And
Nice.
yeah, it's going good.
That's good. So I guess we'll start into dancing. I know you through dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen your progress like just through Instagram, like when you first
Yeah,
came to now, and like you've grown so much, and you can
yeah,
see you put in a lot of effort.
yeah.
What does, well, I guess we can start with what is dancing to you? What does it mean to you, and why do you dance?
Okay, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't start as like my thing as dancing. Like dancing came late in my life. I started dancing when I came college around that time. I
Mm-hmm.
was actually a badminton player in the beginning. I was almost representing like I was going nationals and stuff. So I was kind of serious with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of got diagnosed with some health issues. I was put into medication for like 4 years and stuff like that. So it kind of got me really down. I couldn't continue with my sport. It was affecting me a lot. And around that time is when Michael Jackson passed away. So when he passed away, like I don't know, somehow it hit me, and I just felt okay, it's my turn to dance. So I just went to my room, put music, put my mom's phone. You remember this flip phone? I just put that
Yes.
flip phone camera over there, and I just danced and I showed it to my mom, and she said like it looks good. And since then, I just started developing an interest towards that. So I started going to YouTube, searching videos and all that. Started working from there, just as everyone else, dancing in my room, trying to do Matt Stefanina choreography and all those things. And then later on life, I found Raviana, and then I got into BFAB, and things changed for me. Dancing for me, to that question, I would say I see dance as a friend. Like that's how I see, like that's how I portray dance because it kind of came into my life when I needed it the most, and it's always been there for me, and that's why I respect it a lot, and I don't take it for granted because I know it's something which is really special for me. So yeah, that's how dancing came into my life,
Yeah.
and that's how I started working on this.
Nice. So it sounds like what you're saying is during that time when you were playing badminton and then you had like the health things come on,
Yeah.
it's almost like dancing helped you mentally kind of push through and
A
find something
lot,
else.
a
Yeah.
lot. Because when I say I was in medication, like this medication had a lot of side effects and stuffs as well. So
Hmm.
now I'm having obesity. So I used to be really lean and I started
Hmm.
becoming really big as well.
Hmm.
So it started affecting me mentally. And now I'm going to get into my game again and I can't be the same.
Hmm.
And like nothing's being the same for me. Like mentally, I'm depressed. I haven't been to school for long, so like I'm not in a really good headspace. I wasn't in a good headspace at that moment. And when dance came into my life, like it took me off a lot of things. Like I stopped putting a lot of pressure on myself and I started letting go of a lot of things, like instead of
Hmm.
holding on to it. And dance did help me a lot in that sense. And it did help me to see things more clear as well, I would say, personally for me. Yeah.
Nice. And you mentioned dance, and you mentioned Michael Jackson. So, what kind of dance did you start off with? Did you kind of follow his moves, or was it like just following random
Yeah.
videos?
Honestly, in the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just moving. That's it. That's all I knew. Like, I went to YouTube. I just put like world's best dances, and Lay Twins popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I saw their video, and through that, there was another link of Ian Eastwood, Brian Puspus. So I saw all of them, and I thought, okay, this is what dance looks like. So
Mm.
that's the first thing which came to my mind. And around that time, my brother, he was dancing in his culturals and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I used to go with him to see his cultural programs and stuff. So in my head, I just had like, okay, this is how dance looks like. And then I look at YouTube, I take certain moves, and then I keep practicing those. And then I put a video like in my whole, like in my, I put my camera and then I just dance in front of that doing all those moves, or I would learn a choreography through YouTube and try to do it. So that's how it started. Like in the beginning, I didn't know anything about dance. I was just like exploring it. That's it.
Cool. And I guess exploring in India, now you're in the UK,
Yeah.
what's the difference that you feel in dance? Is there a difference, or from your perspective?
There is a difference. There is a difference in terms of resources, I would say.
Hmm.
Because being in India, like it's because also I do more underground styles, and most of the underground styles comes from the Western world or from more of the European side or the African side.
Mm.
Like for us being in India, we don't get a lot of resources like that. So it's like
When you
we always, sorry.
wait, I was just going to say, just for people that don't know, can you expand on underground style?
Okay, so when I say underground styles or when I say street styles, it means hip hop, locking, popping, Afro dance. Like Afro dance is like it's African dance, it's separate in it. So yeah, but these are like street styles. That's what they call it. Comes from the streets. It comes from clubs, streets, and stuff like that. So that's what we call as underground styles or street styles. So like these styles, like we didn't have a lot of like we did have a lot of resources in India, but then like this is a straight route. Like, so when I came here, it became more clear for me because I saw like the community, how they work on these things, how they help each other through this one style. And I started understanding that it's not just dance, it's more than dance. You know what I mean? So if it makes sense. Um the comparison between India and here, like I would say it's that it's like it's the resources for me. It's like I got more options to go to. I had more people who I could ask doubts, who was straight from the culture or who was straight from the roots or who's been there, like
Mm.
learning it for time. So I could really clarify myself with them, or I could really understand the clarity of movement through them, or like that.
You
While
said,
in India, we were learning more through YouTube or Zoom calls, like so. Like when you learn it in a digital world, it's always different than you learn it in person. So,
yeah, I was going to say, like you said, it's more than dance.
hmm
Um, can you expand on that? Like, what does that look like or
For
feel
me,
like? Yeah, for you. Yeah.
when I say it's when I say it's more than just dance for me, it's like dance teach me life in general. For me personally, at least.
Mhm.
Because let's say like we go to battles, right? Let's take that as an example. Like when I go to battles, I'm going to a battle without knowing what I'm gonna do. I'm just going, it's on spot. I'm just going, and it all depends on the training which I did before in my training sessions or whatever. And when I go to battle, I might win or I might lose or I might do, like things won't happen the way I want it to happen sometimes, and I still need to carry on with it, and I still need to go to the next battle. And I see that the same things with life. It's like all I can do is just take my effort and put my efforts on things, like, and whatever is gonna happen, it's gonna happen in life in terms of, like everything, like work or health or whatever it is, So for me, when I say I take dance more than just dance, it's like it reflects me as like a person. It helps me to connect with a lot of different things. It helps me understand life, understand perspective of people, understand like different elements of life itself. Yeah.
And I guess in terms of, we'll come back to UK now, but before when you were in India
hmm
and you're going through your mental health stuff and you found dance, how, like on an emotional level, how did you push yourself to do dance? Because I can imagine when you're in that mindset, you don't want to do anything, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I feel like I honestly don't have the answer for that because it
Yeah.
just felt like a spark for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like personally I was looking for an escape. Like
Mm-hmm.
there was something in me because when I say like I was into medication and stuff, so I was a lot depressed and I was looking at my mom and my dad suffer through things because of me, because of something which I'm going through. So at a young age, when you're seeing things like this, like because I'm not sleeping, so now I'm not sleeping, my mom's not sleeping. I see my dad like getting stressed over these things and he's worrying about me. So I felt like only if I change, all these things around me would change. So I was looking for some kind of escape at that moment. And when I found dance, I just held on to that strong and I just started focusing on that so hard because I was like, yeah, I need to get out of this thing I'm revolving around, you know what I mean? So that for me, and also my brother, like he used to dance, so he showed me like a video of Ravi Verma, like from BFAB.
Yeah.
So he showed me a video of his YouTube and stuff. So when I watched that, I came to know that even in India, even in Chennai, there's people who's doing these things. So when I
Mm-hmm.
started seeing that, it got me even more motivated. So now I'm like, yeah, I want to learn from this guy. I don't know who this guy is, but I want to learn from him. So that motivated me towards pushing myself to the next stage in that, you know what I mean? So
Nice. So it sounds like you're someone who kind of like, you jump in and you kind of, when you have like a spark or something, you pursue it, you go all
yeah,
in for
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, I
So
do.
I guess like explain for like you came from all the way from India to UK, which like he hasn't done that kind of big step. For them, it's a big
Yeah,
step, right? So
it is.
that big transition when you came to the UK, like what were the initial struggles that you faced? Not just in dancing, but just in general as well.
Yeah, in UK, like I did face a lot of things in UK, I can't lie. Because coming from India, I wasn't coming with an idea of dancing. And I
Hmm.
came during COVID. I came around 2020.
Hmm.
So coming from India to UK 2020, like I came during COVID. They promised me that it's gonna be hybrid classes, but it wasn't. It was all online class. And they put the second, I think the second or the third lockdown around that time. So I couldn't explore UK like that. And I was studying in Leeds.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go out. I'm stuck inside my house.
Hmm.
I'm just, like taking online classes and I'm not motivated to dance like that. So when I came to UK, the first 1 year of my life in UK, I wasn't dancing like that because I wasn't really motivated. It was lockdown. It was a lot of things going on.
The dance, it sounds like, has helped you a lot. Even like I guess when you came to London and you were stuck in your room and you couldn't do those other things, did it help you in that sense? Like, were you able to kind of do freestyling and find yourself, or?
It did, it did. I was still dancing. It wasn't like I wasn't dancing at all. I was still doing like dancing here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But it did like I was moving, but I wasn't moving like that. But it did help me in my dance because this is what for me it felt like because I wasn't dancing, but I was still watching videos of people dancing and people still doing things like social media. So I was watching videos of people. So I knew I was gonna dance at some point. So in my mind, I was like, when I'm going to get back on dancing, I
Hmm.
want to work on these things. So I was already getting prepared mentally in terms of what I want to do.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't dancing, I wasn't having motivation physically to dance. I was still like, yeah, when I get back, I want to train in this, I want to do that, I want to do this. So I was having a lot of thoughts. So it did help me like to have a clear vision on myself in terms of that. But yeah, like that 1 year was kind of hard because it's like It's a weird feeling, isn't it? It's like you're inside the house, it's locked down, you come to UK and you want to enjoy the life here, but you can't really because of all these things, and then you want to dance, but you don't have a lot going on around. So it was a bit of a hard time. And then when I came to London is when it all changed for me.
And I think one thing that popped up is obviously you've left your parents now to come to
Yeah,
UK,
yeah,
and it sounds like you've had a close relationship with your parents. They've helped you when you were younger. How
yeah.
is that? Like, is that difficult? Is it easy? Is it like they help
Yeah,
you
it's
they
not
push you?
easy. It's not
Yeah.
easy. Like, I have a really good bonding with my family, so
Hmm.
for me, it's not easy. But again, at the same time, it's like for me, it's like I'm here doing what I'm doing because I want to work on something and I want to prove myself something as well. And at the same time, like I want to make them understand as well, like what I'm trying to prove. So it's like I'm happy for what I'm doing, but it's definitely not easy because, of course, you're far from home and your parents are starting to get old. So you're starting to see them get old as well. So you want to be with them and you want to be close with them, like on all those things. So it's not easy, but I feel like I'm starting to understand that, like I need to do my life at the same time. I have to find a balance to, like have these emotions stable
Hmm.
in terms of balancing these things and how I can work on myself at the same time, like didn't it yeah.
Nice. It sounds like you have like a very positive outlook on life. Like you're very like you have you've been through stuff, but then you're like, I'm gonna direct my attention to X, Y, Z, and you push yourself towards it.
Yeah.
Have you always had that, or is it something you've learned, or have your parents always kind of pushed you to think like that as well when you were younger?
Yeah, I would give that credit to my parents and my family and my
Hmm.
friends
Hmm.
because yeah, it's because at a young age because I had this kind of issues and stuff. It's like honestly, when I had this medication and all these things going on, the reason I was also into all those things was because when I was young, I was a sincere guy. I
Hmm.
was like, I want to come, get first rank in class. I want to study well, do all my homeworks at time. Like, that's the type of guy I was. But
Hmm.
when I was going through this, like this whole history of mine, like health issue, my parents kind of came to me and said, like, we don't want you to get first rank. Like, we don't want you to do good at school. Like, we care about your health. So we want you to understand regardless of all these things life is still going to move on. So they kind of fed these things into me when I was young as well. So
Nice.
when I started growing up, I started realizing that more and more, I believe, and also with my friend circle, like my friend circle because in India, when I did college out far, far, far from my parents, like 2 or 3 hours away in a different city. So I was living with my friends. So we did life together. So it's like I was living with like 4 guys, 5 guys. So now we are doing everything on our own. So we were learning life as it went.
Mm.
So that did teach me a lot and it made me understand life more. And this mantra that my parents gave me when I was young, I kind of kept it close to my heart and I kind of carried it along with me and it made me grow a lot.
Nice. And I guess this leads us to freestyling.
Hmm.
Um, you freestyle a lot,
Yeah, yeah.
and you've grown as well so much in the last few years. How would you differ freestyling to choreography for yourself? Like, what do they mean to you? And what have each one of those helped you in your dance career?
Yeah, for me, I started with choreography to be honest.
Hmm.
I started with choreography and then I came into freestyling. Freestyle for me, it's like it's movement, it's just pure movement.
Hmm.
And me, I believe dance at the end it's movement. It's like uh, Ravi Verma, one of my mentor, he used to teach us like movement lifestyle, which is like if you're cooking, if you're eating, all of this is movement and it can be transformed into dance and things like that. So that's how I see freestyle. Freestyle is like a movement which I feel how I want to express at the moment, on the moment, what I want to say through my body when I hear when I hear music or when I hear like something which hits me. So yeah, that's what freestyling is for me. And choreography for me, personally, I believe that it comes from the freestyle aspect, because like when you do freestyle and when you fix those points in the freestyle and when you make it like as a section or a sequence, it becomes a combo or a choreography.
Hmm.
So freestyle is movement itself at its purest form, and then choreography is a set thing, from that. So yeah, that's the difference which I personally feel between freestyle and choreography. So it's like it can't coexist without each other. Like if you're doing choreography, like if you know freestyle and you're a person who does choreography, it's only going to help you, like explore more, because it definitely helps each other out a lot.
Nice. And what are the frustrations you've come across when you freestyle?
Like frustrations, you mean?
Yeah.
Uh, this is me, and a lot of people say the same thing, I believe. Repetitions, they say.
Hmm.
That's definitely one thing people say a lot, repetitions. And then
What do
another
you what do you
frustration.
mean by that? Sorry. What do you mean by repetitions?
So we fear about repeating the same move again and again.
Hmm.
Like for example, if I'm freestyling, and when I freestyle, I'm taking a style. Like I'm taking a particular style, I'm working on that style, and I'm freestyling in that style. So when I'm working on a particular style, like, and when you do a freestyle using that particular style, there is a major chance that you're gonna repeat the same move or the same step again and again. You know what I mean? But personally, for me, it's a part of the process, and that's how we learn. Uh, so repetition is one, like, and what music, understanding music, and patience is one of the main thing which is frustrating in freestyle, because it takes a lot of time for us to achieve that patience in
Mm.
freestyle, because freestyle is like you're doing something on spot for the music. So it definitely makes you get feel scared the first time you're gonna do it, you know what I mean? So those three things I would say is something which people find in common, and me personally, I did feel it as well when I started.
How have you overcome that fear like that when you're freestyling, especially when you're beginning? Because I know you do home bros and like they're very supportive, they push you.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then I know in other places they probably is aren't as supportive.
yeah.
How do you overcome that fear?
I would say just doing it again and again.
Hmm.
Like again, like I go to life again, like I
Hmm.
take things like examples from simple things. So it's like, let's say you're trying to make biryani, and
Hmm.
then like me, I'm away from my home. So if I'm gonna make biryani, I can never make biryani like my mom. But I'm gonna try one time, I'm gonna try multiple times, and I believe in a year or 2 years time, I'm gonna be as close as I can to that biryani.
Hmm.
So that's something I believe in terms of dance as well. Like in terms of overcoming our fears, like in terms of understanding that this is what I lack in, or this is where I'm going wrong, and not getting scared of that, but embracing that and understanding, okay, I need to work on this. So how can I work on this? Or what's my way of working on this thing? Or, trying to understand yourself in that process of overcoming these things, because at the end freestyle, it's not like like a magic or whatever. It's like anyone can do it. It's just your intention towards it, your intention towards accepting and understanding that movement.
And I guess you make it sound really easy.
I
And
mean,
obviously I know you practice and you put in the work.
I
Um,
do, I do,
yeah.
but yeah, I hear it, I understand, and it is true. A lot of people say this to me, like I make it sound easy, but I would say going to classes is one of the major things, because that's how I started. So, like taking classes, for example, if you want to freestyle more, there's a lot of foundation classes going on. There's a lot of classes which people are offering for you to learn this, and they've already explored these things, and that's why they're doing classes, because for you to come and explore the same way they do, like for me personally, I believe as dancers we all have different types of approach. So for example, my approach would not be the same as the next person's approach. Like everyone has different types of approach towards their freestyle or towards their movement in general. So it's like you pushing yourself towards going to different classes and exploring from different teachers, and like seeing which one relates to you more, and getting in touch with that movement. And I think going classes and being consistent with that, like in months time you're gonna be there already. After that, it's your own effort of finding who you are in that moment.
Have you ever, well, during freestyling in front of other people, have you ever got stuck in your head where you become anxious or you've worried about
Oh
what other people
yeah,
think?
yeah, a lot, a
And
lot.
how have
I
you
do.
like overcome that?
I don't think we can overcome that.
Yeah.
Never. There's always gonna be places where you're gonna be like that,
Hmm.
and like getting scared or getting anxious in when we are doing freestyle. It's gonna be there. It's like let's accept like it's not like something which you can just come away completely of. But I feel like the confidence which you develop by training all these things, for example, when I said go to classes and all that, by going to classes you're becoming strong in your foundations, and then by practicing it you're getting stronger, like you're understanding your movement, how you're moving, you're getting more matured with yourself, you're getting more aligned with yourself in terms of the movement itself.
Hmm.
So when you're understanding yourself like that, over a point of time you'll start to know, like you'll start to realize, okay, this is me, this is how I move. So when you get that, I feel like this kind of fear slowly starts to fade away, because it's like the thing is like the problem, the reason we are getting anxious in these cipher circles or in these dance circles is because we see a lot of people dancing and we just go like, oh shit, he's so good, or I want to be like him, or how is he doing this, or how is he doing that. Like we put a lot of expectation because we compare ourselves to everyone around. Like, so what I would say is like understanding ourselves and understanding that, he's sick, and he is this person and I am this person, and this is how I dance, and this is how I represent myself. And like understanding that would really help you to be more calm with yourself, that like you have your own, like you do your own
Mm.
thing, you know what I mean, like.
So I guess through that freestyling process, what your goal or what the intention should be is to find your own style, your own who you are as a
Exactly.
person.
It's finding your own essence and who
Hmm.
you are as a dancer. For example, if you see me freestyle, I do a lot of storytelling. I do a
Hmm.
lot of different elements in my freestyle, and I add a lot of my Indian heritage or
Hmm.
Indian cultural things. Like I use a lot of that things because for me personally, I believe that's who I am and that's who I am as a person as well. Like, so I try to bring that part of me, bring me as a person, as a character into my dance, and try to fuse it and make my own essence of it, you know what I mean.
Nice. Um, so you've come to UK and there's a big, I guess, Tamil society here as well,
Yes.
who do dancing. What's your what's been your experience in this, like from learning from them or meeting the other people? Because I know freestyling isn't a big thing, and I've
Yeah,
spoken to some other people like, in the last podcast, like Sid and Aaron.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
spoke about freestyling as well, and I guess they want to push freestyling to make it bigger here. What's
Hmm.
your opinion on that? And I know you're starting your own kind of program as well soon. So
Yeah, yeah.
what's your experience and opinions?
Yeah, I mean, I would be happy to see more people getting into freestyle a lot because
Hmm.
that's like I said, freestyle is movement itself. And if you're gonna jump into choreography and if that choreography contains a lot of styles, you need to know what style it is, or you need to understand the foundation of that style before you jump into something which is, like just a whole package of that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah,
that's the reason for me it's like it's not just about freestyling, it's just about understanding. Like for example, like we are doing a lot of choreography in terms of Tamil society, I would say, like
yeah,
we are doing a lot of choreography, and a lot of these choreography are inspired from styles like hip hop, afro, or like or locking or different styles.
yeah.
Like, and we jump into a lot of this choreography and we learn all this choreography, but we don't know the style or we don't understand the style. We just do the choreography as it is, but that particular choreography has like they've implemented certain styles in it, and that style has a history, and like it goes beyond just choreography. So it is important for you to understand what movement it is, like what style it is, or to understand that, because it's also just a basic form of respect that you're giving to the style itself, or because you're doing choreography to a Tamil song, which is amazing, which like years ago people weren't doing it. Now everyone wants to do it for a Tamil song representing our culture, which is great. But again, we are representing our culture through a Tamil song, but again, we are taking styles from different countries.
Mm.
So if we are doing that, it's like, for example, if someone is doing Bharatanatyam and then they do it like with slippers on, for example, would you accept it? You wouldn't, because that's our culture and we follow it a certain way and we don't want others to come and disrespect it that way.
Mm.
So it's the same way I would say, like when we are doing choreography and when we are doing certain styles, it's not like you need to know every style, but at least understanding what style it is, what that movement is. So for that is why, because when we say freestyle, it's also learning a style, like in general, like you're
Mhm.
learning hip hop and then you're developing your freestyle in it, you're learning afro, you're developing your freestyle in it. So it's about more of a respect for me, like in terms of giving that respect towards that culture while understanding the movement as well. So
Mhm.
it's like the Tamil society is like amazing, and I see a lot of dancers, and I can see that they're willing to learn as well. It's just they don't have the resources,
Mhm.
and I completely understand. There is a lot of resources in UK which you can go and learn to, but I do understand because it's not easy for us to just go to a class and learn. We are gonna feel insecure and all those things, which I really respect and which I really rate as well, because it is something which people go through a lot, and I did go through when I came as well. So yeah, that's why I'm starting and we are working on this program, because what we are trying to do here is like, okay, cool, like you're feeling insecure or you're feeling scared to go to certain spaces. So we are a part of you. So let's all come together and work together. Like this, you feel confident to go to these spaces and learn it from the culture or from the essence. You know what I mean? So that we grow more stronger. And the next time I'm gonna see you do a choreography, you're gonna do it even better because you understand the choreography, you understand what it is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So also fusing different styles, bringing different styles together, and yeah, exploring.
So there's a high level of respect for the essence of the dance, the foundation of the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you, from your experience, why do you feel people don't understand it? Because I guess with the introduction of TikTok and all these things, dance is more commercialized and this isn't talked about as much, maybe.
Yeah.
But what's your opinion? Yeah.
I mean, it's not like people don't understand it. People do.
Hmm.
It's like you said exactly. TikTok, Reels, and all these things. It's all like it's quick.
Hmm.
And also, like things I'm talking about is like it's because I'm also dancing more on a high level, of
Hmm.
course. But if you're a dancer, if you're doing a degree which is like a serious degree, and then you're dancing on the side, like I don't know if you're gonna take that effort to go and do these things and like stuff like that as well, which I understand and which is up to you. But for me, it's more about if you're trying to, let's say, conduct classes, or if you're trying to do workshops, or if you're trying to do more like uh, tours and stuff like that, in that case it is necessary for us to understand these things as well. But like for me, I personally feel it's also because of like TikToks and trends and a lot of those things as well,
Hmm.
that we just we just connect with it, do it quick, shoot it, boom, done. Okay, like, and it gets you a lot of views or whatever it is. So yeah, it's more the that part of it as well, the views and the things like that. So
And I guess, like for someone listening, you kind of spoke about it already. You have spoke about it, but if you were to sum up, like, why is it important to go and learn the foundation? What would you say? Like, if you were to just really nail it down, drill it down for people listening,
yeah,
like in a
I
sentence or
would
two.
say I would say number one is just respect. Like that
Hmm.
that's my first thing. It's like if I'm gonna take something from a different culture, I need to pay my respect towards that culture. And if I'm going to take a style from a different culture, I need to understand what that style is about, and at least the basics of it, at least the foundations of it. Number two is like just for ourselves to have a clear clarity of movement. It's like if you see in dance, like let's take hip hop or let's take like Afro dance forms, like most of these styles are based on lifestyle itself. Like there are styles where it's inspired from lifestyle. It's created by someone who saw something on a road one day and just created it as a step, and then it blew up. So it's like when you're doing it as a choreography and you just do it as a step, you're not going to realize the real essence or the potential of that step. But when you understand these foundations and how the step was formed, you're going to know what's the story behind that step or what's the real essence behind that step. So that's going to make you even more, like it's going to give you more clarity, I would
Mhm.
say, in your movement, because now when you're doing choreography, you know the real intention behind that step. So now you're gonna do it with, you know, if the step has to be done with more vim, or the step has to be done like more soft, or things like that. So it's for ourselves as well to understand ourselves in those movements. And these are all formed things which people have been working on and training on, and and one more most important thing is uh we are taking fame out of it. Like, if I'm doing a choreography and if I'm doing a street style, if I'm doing a hip hop influenced choreography and I'm posting it on my Instagram and people go, yo, it's so good, this and that and all that, and I'm taking credits of some style. So what am I giving back to that style? Like,
Mm.
because I'm taking my credits off something, you know what I mean? So it's like it is important for you to respect that as well, because it wasn't formed with an easy purpose. It wasn't formed with smiles and faces. So yeah, it's just things like that.
Nice. What are your goals for the coming year then? I know you've got the new program that you're starting working
Yeah,
on.
I want to work on this foundation program for the Tamil society, which I hope will go good as well. So
Hmm.
like I see a lot of people getting interested into these things and coming more. So I want to really work on this. I want to also extend this towards Europe as well. So I'm working on my visa situations and stuff.
Hmm.
So once that is sorted, I want to extend this to Europe and go to different Tamil societies and work on developing this foundation program and trying to give them a platform where they can build like from the base, so that we can represent even more stronger, because and to bring more Tamil people into battle spaces as well and things like that. And personally for myself as well, to work on some of my business ideas, to work on my health, to work on my fitness, things like that in general, and just pushing myself forward.
Nice. What do you feel is the cost of someone who they want to dance, so they just go and learn choreo, they practice choreos, but what do you feel is the cost for them in the long term, especially if they like dancing, if they don't go and attend classes, if they don't learn the foundation, what will
Yeah,
it cost them in the long term?
yeah, I'm in that path as well. Like, I'm
Hmm.
not a person who's already accomplished. I'm still
Hmm.
getting there. But for person who's starting new, I would say
Hmm.
like don't just feed off from Instagram or TikTok. Like, go to places, because dance at the end is social. So if you're not trying to be social with dance, you're not going to get anywhere with it. So dance is also about communication, about sharing your energy with people, coming together as one, like it's not just about Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. So I would say for people to go to more classes, to meet new people, like dance along with them, like have different perspectives, have different openings, getting inspired from people constantly and from things in general constantly, like just being hungry to learn more and more, like, because dance is like ocean, like it's big, like you can never stop learning dance, like it's never ending. So it's like what I would suggest is for people to go and find what they want to learn and go and learn and be there present in person and learn it in person and get better each day, trying to get
Nice. So it sounds like what you're saying is like if you the cost of not going out and learning these styles or going to classes is that essentially you're stuck in like a pond, you're a small space and you're stuck in that
true,
area,
exactly, yeah,
whereas there is the ocean that you can
yeah,
explore.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly, yeah,
nice.
that's that. Sorry, my
Sweet.
English is from India, so I can't put it
No,
into
no, English
phrase.
is perfect. It's perfect. No, it's really good. Sweet. Is there any final words that you want to say? Like anything that is currently on your mind?
Uh, I mean, something which is currently on my mind is like there is a girl from the UK dance scene who passed away today morning.
Hmm.
May her soul rest in peace. So yeah, like since morning, this is what I've been thinking on. Like, take care of your people, like appreciate your people, like make sure things are okay around. And yeah, like because me, I'm far away from my home, so it's like I know how it is to get worried and stuff like that.
Mm.
So it is important for us to, because we don't realize things when it's closer, and then when we are away from it is when we realize stuff. So if there is one thing which I could say from today and from what I'm feeling now, it's like take care of yourself and people around you as well, like check on people, check on everyone, appreciate everyone, around and stuff like that.
Nice, thank you.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I've enjoyed this chat.
Yeah, me
Um,
too. Me too. Thank you
yeah,
for this. And I'm really glad that you're doing this as well for the community, man. Like I appreciate it. And I really like where you're going with this, and that's why I wanted to be on it as well, because it's like it does open up a lot of thoughts for people to understand about, or perspective for people to understand about, for the Tamil society and everything. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that you're doing this, and good luck
thank you,
for
man. I
you as well,
appreciate it.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah, for anyone who is looking to find where you are, find out about the program, where can they find you, and yeah, other information.
Yeah, you guys can find me on my Instagram, which is Adhish015 underscore BFAB. I'll
I'll
spell
post
it
it down below. Yeah,
ADHISH 015 and then underscore and then BFAB. I put all my details, like everything about me is on there on my Instagram page. Uh, I'm going to start a page soon for this Tamil society, the dance classes which I'm working on. So once I start the page, I'll be sharing it around. So yeah, be be ready, and yeah, whenever you want to come, you guys are welcome to come.
amazing. I'll post the details down below
Of
in
course.
the YouTube or Spotify, wherever you find
Uh,
this,
yeah,
so they can find it. But yeah, otherwise, thank you for coming on, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you grow this year as well.
thank you, bro. Thank you. Love for that. Yeah.